Here are some lesser-known but raw and unfiltered facts about Malcolm X. But first, hit that subscribe button and write in the comments which historical figure you would like to hear about next. Okay, here we go. 1. He was an avid chess player. Malcolm X loved chess and often used it as a metaphor for strategy in life and activism. He played regularly while in prison, sharpening his ability to think ahead and anticipate moves, both in the game and in the real world. 2. He had red hair and many nicknames. Before he was Malcolm X, he was known as Detroit Red because of his reddish hair. He also went by Big Red and Satan, a prison nickname due to his fiery temper and atheism before converting to Islam. 3. He was a hustler before becoming a revolutionary. As a young man, Malcolm was deep in the street life, running numbers, selling drugs, and even robbing wealthy homes. He also worked as a shoe shiner in Harlem, where he met famous jazz musicians and soaked up the nightlife. 4. He had a strong sense of fashion. Even before his political awakening, Malcolm took pride in his appearance. He was always sharply dressed, whether as a zoot suit-wearing hustler or a dignified leader in a well-tailored suit. His style was part of his charisma. 5. He worked on a train and loved travel. As a teenager, Malcolm worked on a railroad kitchen crew, which let him travel across the country. This early exposure to different cities and cultures likely broadened his perspective before he became politically active. 6. He initially doubted his own leadership abilities. Despite his commanding presence, Malcolm X wasn't always confident in his role as a leader. He often admitted that he never intended to be a public figure, but was drafted into the spotlight because of his ability to articulate the nation of Islam's message. 7. He was a voracious reader. Malcolm educated himself in prison by devouring books. He read everything from history to philosophy, copying entire dictionary pages by hand to improve his vocabulary. His ability to debate and articulate ideas came from this intense self-education. 8. He eventually rejected the Nation of Islam's leadership. Although he was the most famous spokesperson for the Nation of Islam, he grew disillusioned with its leader, Elijah Muhammad. After discovering Muhammad's personal scandals and questioning the NOI's rigid ideology, Malcolm broke away and embraced a more inclusive, orthodox Islam. 9. He was under constant FBI surveillance. The FBI kept close tabs on Malcolm X for years. Edgar Hoover even wrote memos instructing agents to find ways to neutralize him. His phones were tapped, and informants infiltrated his circle, making his assassination all the more suspicious. 10. He knew his assassination was coming. Malcolm X openly spoke about the likelihood of being killed, saying he wouldn't live to see old age. In the weeks before his assassination, his home was bombed, and he was followed everywhere. Despite the threats, he continued speaking out, knowing the risks. Malcolm X wasn't just a revolutionary. He was a complex, ever-evolving man with a sharp mind, street smarts, and an unbreakable will. His transformation from a hustler to one of the most powerful voices of the 20th century is what makes him legendary.